Most people believe learning is slow because they were trained to learn the wrong way. From childhood, you were taught to memorize, repeat, and wait for permission. Sit still, listen quietly, absorb information like a container. But the Japanese never approached learning as accumulation. They approached it as transformation. To them, learning was not about collecting knowledge. It was about becoming someone new. And that difference changes everything. In feudal Japan, survival depended on learning fast. A samurai did not have years to master a blade, a strategy, or his own fear. One mistake meant death. So their learning systems were built for speed, depth, and permanence. What modern science now confirms, the Japanese discovered centuries ago through brutal necessity. The brain does not learn through passive intake. It learns through pressure, identity, and action. The first principle is called shu-ha-ri, a concept borrowed from traditional martial arts but applied to all forms of mastery. Shu means to obey, ha means to break, rai means to transcend. This is not a learning style, it is a learning life cycle. And almost everyone gets stuck at shu forever. In the shu phase, the student copies exactly, no creativity, no shortcuts, no personal interpretation. Modern learners resist this phase because their ego wants to feel intelligent immediately. But speed comes from submission, not cleverness. The Japanese understood that the fastest way forward is temporary obedience. When you copy perfectly, you compress centuries of trial and error into weeks. But shu is not about blind repetition. It is about wiring the nervous system. When a sword student practiced the same cut 10,000 times, it wasn't to memorize it. It was to remove thought entirely. Thought is slow. Reaction is fast. True learning happens when the body moves before the mind interferes. Most people today learn by watching videos, reading summaries, and feeling informed. But information without embodiment creates illusion, not skill. Shu demands physical engagement, even in mental domains. Writing, speaking, building, doing. If you cannot perform the knowledge under pressure, you do not possess it. Once shu is complete, ha begins. This is where speed accelerates dramatically, because now you are not learning from scratch, you are modifying a living system inside you. Ha means to break the form intelligently, to test boundaries, to discover what still works when conditions change. Samurai were encouraged to challenge techniques only after they could perform them flawlessly. Creativity without foundation is chaos. Creativity built on mastery is evolution. Modern learners skip shu and jump straight into ha. They remix before they understand. They customize before they can execute. This is why they feel busy but never become dangerous. The Japanese path feels slower at first, but it produces exponential acceleration later. Rai is the final phase. This is where learning becomes identity. There is no technique anymore, no method, only response. At Ri, you are not using the skill, you are the skill. A master swordsman does not think of angles or footwork. A Zen calligrapher does not plan each stroke. Action flows without friction. Neuroscience now calls this state automaticity. The Japanese called it no mind, or mushin. This is where speed reaches its peak because effort disappears. Most people never reach Rai because they never commit deeply enough to shu. They chase novelty instead of depth. If you want to learn anything extremely fast, you must first accept something uncomfortable. Speed requires discipline, not freedom. Structure before expression, form before flow, submission before transcendence. The second mistake modern learners make is trying to understand everything before acting. The Japanese reversed this. They acted first, then understanding followed. A student carpenter did not study blueprints for years. He carried wood, observed silently, and copied movements. His body learned before his intellect did. This is because the brain evolved for action, not theory. Learning accelerates when the nervous system feels relevance, urgency, and consequence. Samurai training used stress deliberately, time pressure, fatigue, observation by superiors. These conditions forced focus. Comfort slows learning. Discomfort sharpens it. If you want to compress years into months, you must create artificial pressure, public accountability, deadlines, performance environments. Learning in isolation feels safe, but it is slow. Learning in exposure forces adaptation. There is another hidden layer here, identity. The Japanese did not separate who you are from what you learn. When you entered a dojo, you did not say, "I am learning swordsmanship." You became a swordsman. Your posture, speech, and daily habits aligned with that identity. The brain protects identity more fiercely than goals. When learning becomes who you are, not what you do, resistance dissolves. Most people quit learning not because it's hard, but because it conflicts with their existing identity. They see themselves as beginners, imposters, or not talented. The Japanese solve this by ritual, clothing, language, rank systems. These were not cosmetic, they rewired self-perception. To learn extremely fast, you must stop asking, "How do I learn this?" and start asking, "Who must I become to make this inevitable?" The moment identity shifts, behavior follows automatically. Shuhari is not ancient philosophy, it is a blueprint for speed, and it is only the beginning. The second Japanese principle that accelerates learning beyond normal limits is Kaizen, but not the watered-down version used in corporate slogans. Real Kaizen is ruthless. It is the discipline of microscopic improvement performed daily without exception. While the West obsesses over breakthroughs, the Japanese focused on inevitability. Most people fail to learn fast because they rely on motivation. Motivation is unstable. It rises and falls with mood, energy, and confidence. Kaizen removes emotion from the equation. You do not ask if you feel like learning today. You ask only what the smallest possible improvement is that can be executed right now. The Japanese understood a brutal truth. The brain resists large change, but accepts small change without alarm. When you attempt massive improvement, the brain interprets it as threat. Stress hormones rise, avoidance behaviors activate, procrastination appears. But when the improvement is small enough, the brain does not resist. It cooperates. This is how Kaizen bypasses internal resistance. One page instead of one chapter, one technique instead of the whole system, 5 minutes instead of 1 hour. These increments feel insignificant, but their power lies in consistency. The compound effect is merciless. 1% improvement daily does not double your ability, it multiplies it beyond recognition. Japanese craftsmen were famous for working on the same skill for decades, not because they were slow learners, but because they understood that mastery has no ceiling. Every repetition was an opportunity to refine something invisible to beginners. Angle, timing, pressure, breath. This depth creates speed because errors disappear. Most modern learners plateau quickly because they chase new inputs instead of refining outputs. They read more books instead of practicing better. They watch more tutorials instead of correcting mistakes. Kaizen flips the focus. Less input, more refinement. Another misunderstood aspect of Kaizen is feedback. Japanese learning systems are built around immediate correction, not praise, not encouragement, correction. A master would stop a student mid-motion and adjust a finger by millimeters. This was not cruelty, it was efficiency. Delayed feedback slows learning. Immediate feedback accelerates it exponentially. If you want to learn fast, you must shorten the feedback loop. Record yourself, test yourself, perform in environments where mistakes are visible. Silence is slower than critique. Comfort is slower than correction. Kaizen also eliminates decision fatigue. When improvement is scheduled and specific, you do not waste mental energy deciding what to do. Decision-making consumes cognitive resources that could be used for learning. The Japanese reduced choices to preserve focus. This is why rituals mattered. Same time, same place, same sequence. The mind enters learning mode automatically. No negotiation, no friction. Modern learners try to optimize flexibility. The Japanese optimized inevitability. There is another layer to Kaizen that few talk about: humility. To improve microscopically, you must admit imperfection constantly. Ego hates this. Ego wants dramatic progress. Kaizen demands patience and honesty, but ego-driven learning collapses under pressure. Kaizen-built learning endures. Japanese swordsmiths would destroy blades with microscopic flaws. Years of work discarded without hesitation, not because the blade was useless, but because standards shape identity. When your standard is absolute, progress accelerates because you refuse to tolerate mediocrity. Most people slow their learning by lowering standards to protect self-esteem. The Japanese did the opposite. They raised standards and accepted discomfort. This is why their mastery appears effortless from the outside. Kaizen also works because it aligns with time. Time will pass regardless. The question is whether you compound or decay. One small improvement daily feels slow, but stagnation is slower. Regression is fastest of all. To learn anything extremely fast, you must stop looking for shortcuts and start building systems that cannot fail. Kaizen is not exciting, it is not dramatic, but it is unstoppable. When combined with Shuhari, it turns learning into a force of nature. You no longer rely on willpower, you rely on structure. And structure always wins. The third Japanese principle that unlocks extreme learning speed is Shinrin-yoku of the mind, though not in the literal sense of forest bathing. It is the principle of deep presence, often associated with Zen. The Japanese understood that distraction is the greatest enemy of mastery. A scattered mind learns slowly, no matter how intelligent it is. Zen training was not about relaxation. It was about concentration so intense that the self dissolved. When attention is total, learning compresses. What takes hours in distraction takes minutes in presence. Modern neuroscience confirms this. Deep focus activates myelin production, strengthening neural pathways faster. Multitasking fractures learning. Partial attention produces partial results. The Japanese eliminated distraction aggressively. Sparse environments, silent practice, minimal tools. Every element served focus. Most people today try to learn while half distracted. Notifications, background noise, internal chatter. They wonder why progress is slow. Speed requires exclusion. You must remove everything that does not serve the task. Zen also taught non-attachment to outcome. This sounds paradoxical, but it is essential. When you are obsessed with results, anxiety rises. Anxiety narrows attention. Narrow attention reduces learning quality. Samurai trained to focus on process, not victory. Victory was a byproduct. This state is called zanshin, relaxed alertness, not tense, not passive, fully engaged without strain. Learning accelerates here because the mind is open, not defensive. Another Zen principle is emptiness. Beginners think emptiness means nothingness. Masters know it means availability. When the mind is full of assumptions, it cannot absorb new patterns. To learn fast, you must unlearn faster. The Japanese treated beginners' mind as sacred. No matter the rank, arrogance was punished. Arrogance blocks correction. Correction is the fastest teacher. When you assume you already know, you stop seeing details. Zen training used repetition not to bore the student, but to strip away illusion. Each repetition removed another layer of ego until only function remained. At that point, learning accelerated naturally because resistance was gone. Presence also sharpens perception. Small differences become obvious. Timing improves. Errors reveal themselves. This reduces the need for excessive repetition. Quality attention multiplies efficiency. Modern learners try to compensate for poor focus with more time. The Japanese use better focus to reduce time. 1 hour of full presence beats 10 hours of distracted effort. Another hidden factor is breath. Samurai synchronized breath with movement. Breath regulates the nervous system. A regulated nervous system learns faster because it is not stuck in fight or flight. Calm intensity beats frantic effort every time. If you want to learn extremely fast, you must protect your attention like a weapon. Schedule distraction-free sessions. Remove digital noise. Train single tasking. At first, this feels uncomfortable because your mind is addicted to stimulation, but discomfort is the gateway to depth. Zen does not ask you to withdraw from the world. It asks you to meet it fully. When attention is total, learning becomes immediate. You stop rehearsing, you start absorbing. Combine Zen presence with Kaizen consistency and Shuhari structure, and learning stops being a struggle. It becomes natural, inevitable, fast. When these three Japanese principles are combined, learning speed reaches a level that feels unfair to outsiders. Shuhari gives structure. Kaizen gives momentum. Zen presence gives depth. Together, they transform learning from effort into embodiment. Most people think talent creates speed. The Japanese knew speed creates talent. Mastery is not a gift. It is a consequence of correct process applied relentlessly. To apply this system, you must simplify. Choose one skill, one domain. Scatter destroys speed. Focus multiplies it. The Japanese believed in total commitment to the path. Half effort produces half results. Full commitment compresses time. Adopt the identity of the learner warrior, not impatient, not casual, disciplined, present, humble, ruthless with standards, kind to the process. Create rituals, same time, same environment, same opening action. Let your nervous system recognize learning as a familiar battlefield. Remove negotiation. Action precedes mood. Accept boredom. Boredom is the threshold to depth. Most people escape boredom and remain shallow. The Japanese entered boredom and emerged powerful. Track refinement, not time. Did today's repetition improve quality? If yes, progress occurred. If not, time was wasted. Quality compounds faster than quantity. Finally, remember this: the Japanese did not rush, yet they learned faster than anyone else. Speed was not their goal, precision was. Speed emerged naturally. If you apply these principles, you will not just learn faster. You will become someone who cannot stop learning. And that is the ultimate advantage.